Prompt. Hello, everyone. I'm Alex,
Everybody, I'm Mariela.
and we are here with Unity for All, traveling this path together on this kind of spiritual journey, this human life together. And it's so funny. Before we get on recording, we always have these like conversations just about what we've heard of what's going on, kind of grounding and centering into some of it. And then it turns into these like wildly amazing things. And I feel like we should just be recording those because it's so intense.
Yeah, next
But
time.
um but yeah, it's been a while since we recorded because life has been
Crazy.
oh like Mariella has a your rising Pisces, right?
Hmm.
I have moon Pisces. I have rising Capricorn. She is a Capricorn, sun Capricorn.
Hmm. Yeah.
I don't know if it has anything to do, like, I don't know what everybody's astrology is who watches this. But I know they say like the mutable signs, which is Pisces, Sagittarius, and Virgo. Are they mutable?
I am not sure.
Or is it Gemini? It's Gemini. Anyway, the mutable signs are going through a lot, but then also like Capricorn, like anyway, it's just like crazy the amount of things that are happening, and they fall in line with mine and Mariella's chart.
Hmm.
So whoever else is watching this, like maybe we gotta like make this for certain people and certain signs and be like, you will resonate with us.
Yeah, but also the others will resonate with what is going on anyways.
That is true.
Yeah,
Um,
beautiful signs are Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces.
okay, thank you. Yeah. So lots been going on for them and will continue. Um, but a lot is going on for all of us because literally our world is transforming before our eyes.
So
And
exciting.
it's exciting and dysregulating and a little disturbing sometimes, but it's like it's fascinating,
Yeah,
right?
there's a lot of unknowns.
Hmm.
So it can hit you as exciting, it could hit you as what is going on?
Yeah. And me and Mariella over the last few weeks, we've talked about the cards we had pulled last time. So we had
Hmm.
pulled those cards that referenced like a man passing, and you were like, I wonder if it's going to be the Pope.
And it
And
was in May,
yeah, and then there was something
June.
about June and a woman.
Yeah, there was an
So
empty chair.
yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with that as we move in that direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if everybody else can resonate with kind of the intensity and chaos. I think it's a worldwide phenomenon that we're all experiencing with all of the changes around us.
Hmm. Yeah,
Mhm.
it will affect everybody, and many signs are entering Aries, which is the first sign of the zodiac. So it means that we are beginning a new era, and some of the energy is brand new for the history of humans. So we literally don't know what's going to come next in some ways.
Oh, I'm like excited because I'm like, wow, how fascinating and how interesting. And it's like really uncomfortable to be living it. Um,
Yeah, I
but
think remember when COVID was coming and we saw that changes were coming globally,
yeah.
and we thought, what is that? I wonder what it is. I'm so excited. And then COVID hit and we were like, oh, this doesn't feel good.
But then I remember after COVID, I was like, I was really hoping that the world was going to change more after COVID. Like
And it
we
did.
felt like everybody had started learning things and
Hmm.
understanding how important like people were and togetherness and
Yeah.
Um, like I thought that was what people were learning, and then it seems to have like I'm not saying it hasn't happened, but I was sad that it didn't change enough. And then all of a sudden all this is happening and I'm like, "Oh, that was just the beginning."
Yeah, that was
That
the
was like
end of one energy.
that was a drop in the bucket.
Yes, and I feel like besides knowing in COVID that we needed connection between humans, we also started our or more exploration with all the technologies as well, like interacting in virtual platforms and the beginning of ChatGPT and all those things.
And um the realization of truth that we don't know what is true anymore.
Exactly.
Like, not that, and people, I know some people are like, oh, well, it's the technology that's telling us what's true and not true. And it's like, actually, I think we're realizing how many truths have been hidden for so long and the lack of like recognizing that history is written by people and it's written to shape and create a reality that we're currently living in. And it's not a healthy one. And it's like we
No,
actually might not know the truth of our histories,
no
the
at
histories
all.
of the civilizations on Earth before us,
Yeah.
whether it's before humans or just before recent times. I'm like, we just don't know. And like, so the idea of truth has been a big part of this chunk of time as well. And what is true, what is not true. And because the polarization is showing us, like, well, if both sides can be right, the truth has got to be somewhere besides those sides. You know what I mean? Like, there's polarization doesn't equal something that's, I guess, I mean, we can take that polarization out of the truth talk, but the polarization between people amplified during COVID.
Yeah, it has served as a tool for sure to know what is true. And it may be a truth that is a truth for some people, and there's a truth for some other people, depending on what their needs are. And so that helps us think and reconsider our own truths if we see the other side,
Mm,
unless we don't want to.
yeah. So, okay. So, since COVID, and so, and interestingly that we talk about it, because Taurus was fully transitioned into, or sorry, Uranus was fully transitioned into Taurus in 2019. It started its transition in 2018 and it was fully transitioned in 2019.
Mhm.
And then a whole bunch of like, we've talked about like the different lineups of Uranus and Taurus and the Capricorn. Oh, was it Capricorn Pluto? Was that what it was?
Like, yes, I can
Yeah,
remember.
because it left Capricorn and went into Aries. So then the Capricorn Pluto stuff, like they were all like and the big one happened January 20th, 2020.
Mhm.
And so for the past since 2018, we've been feeling this
Yeah,
change.
Pluto transitioned from Capricorn to Aquarius. That was the big transition.
Yeah. And so that happened this year in January, right? Was this year? Or was it last year?
Um,
I don't even remember anymore.
yeah, it re-entered Aquarius in January 20th. You're right.
Whew, time's going by so fast.
Yeah.
Um, so but since that Taurus Uranus, since kind of COVID, um, what we know is changing, right? So we can talk about truth, what we know about ourselves and what we know about everything is changing. Um, recognizing um, how important connection is. Technology has been rising. Um,
The next
and
step
then like
So,
and
the changes that are coming within the earth itself, and with the Taurus and energy, just earth, and how we see um, the production of food and the use of animals
mm,
and water and air, all those things. We
yeah,
are
the resource.
reconsidering all those things as well.
Mhm. Yeah, resource and values is what kind of the second house and Taurus kind of represent. Yeah.
Yeah, they say there will be a lot of changes with earthquakes and volcanoes and the water rising in the ocean.
Hmm.
So those are things that we're starting to see as well, and um, possibly we will see more in the coming months.
Well, in July, Uranus transitions into Gemini for the first time for a period of months. And as it transitions into Gemini, it will be that air sign, and Gemini is all about information, but on like a smaller level. Sagittarius is like meaning making, philosophizing, like
Mhm.
on a different level. And this is about like information and how fast it moves and moves between people. And um, so I'm really interested to see what happens with that. But we have, like you were saying, a lot of planets have been moving into not Aquarius, Aries. So I think right now we have who's in Aries right now? Neptune just moved in March. So Pluto's in Aquarius.
Okay, so yeah, you know which ones have already moved into Aries, right? Remember? Well, Neptune in Aries, March 30th of
Yep.
this year. Saturn in Aries, May 24th of this year. And you told me Ceres oh no, sorry. Ceres will just move to Aries in May 16th, and Chiron is already there, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. Then Mercury would already there, May 7th. Venus, May 31st of this year.
All
And
into Aries.
yeah.
Wow. So that's like the big like beginning energy.
Mhm.
And like as we were talking, and actually we weren't, so it's like the 0 point. It's like the
Yep.
0.0 point energy. And we're facing it on so many levels, like, and everything is aligning, like many things are aligning at 0 point energy. And it's not normal for all the planets because they all move at different times. So, like, the probability of them aligning at certain points at the same time are actually really small.
Mhm.
Don't get me wrong, it happens, and it happens ever so many years. But like, we have planets that are generational planets, and we have planets that move. Well, obviously, the moon is, you know, very quick rotating, right? Or the sun and all that. So, and Mercury, I think is like 52 days or something. So we have like short moving and like huge ones. And so many of them are all just like bloop, bloop, bloop,
Aligning to cause the beginning and the start in like almost the same month.
bloop. Mhm.
And
Yeah.
this is it. It's in May 2025.
Yeah, so 2025, and we talked about this earlier this year that this is this year of like like some final endings and the new beginnings. Like it's like we're kind of at literally that 0 point. So things are falling and crumbling and things are building. And but when we start at zero ground, there's so the idea of Pisces is that it's like or the 12th house is that there's like a building, like seeds being planted. And then Aries, it's like, hey, what seeds like can we help grow?
That
Um,
are working.
yeah, like what ones do we want to work at actually growing? Or what do we actually want to have grow?
Yeah, have you noticed? I don't know, in your life, I didn't ask you this before
Mm.
this video, but have you noticed anything in your life that is not working that just crumbles down and you're pulled into another direction?
Part of me wants to be like, is that a joke?
Like, where do I start?
Right? Yeah, I feel like right now everything's changing. Because yeah, I have to move from my place. My job is kind of reaching points of feeling like I'm done with this chapter of working in nonprofit and but not knowing what would be next. Um, yeah, so I feel like I'm changing in terms of my like accepting my life phase in my early 40s, like recognizing what that is and what was and letting go of different parts, not letting go, but like understanding I'm somewhere different and I'm different, you know? So I don't know, there's a lot. It feels like there's a lot. How about you, Mariela?
So,
Great question.
I feel I am in these, the full, if you know the deck of tarot cards, right? It's the zero. So, almost I don't know anything. I am just in this journey and I'm just following, like if you're floating on a river. And so, I cannot feel like anything like really changing, but I am now in the path of moving from the work that I am doing right now to
Hmm.
another type of work, from providing in-home support to maybe going into counseling. But at the same time, thinking of what works and what doesn't work, I really value the support in families' homes instead of in an office,
Hmm.
because there's so much you can see once you are in a person's home and not just relying on what they tell you in an office setting.
Hmm.
So I don't know how to make it work so that those things happen together, the counseling and being in a person's life. Um, and then it just feels to me that everything is the same here at home. And I've told you this before. I'm like, is it that I am not seeing what is coming? But it just feels that everything is fine. I do notice people around me struggling financially. People being evicted from places because they can't afford anymore to pay rent. Prices of things going really up. So we have talked here with family members about that and noticing that if you want something and you're not like in the rich portion of society, you better get it now,
Mm,
just in case.
yes.
So maybe preparing for that future where things are going to be more expensive. I Yeah, I noticed like in the non-for-profit funding is changing. I know that because everything's changing, well now.
Oh, I can't hear you for some reason. Hello?
I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. I can hear you now too. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
So you're
it seems
talking
that
about
my internet connection is not very stable. Sorry. And talking about unstable connections with internet, I've noticed that we have had many interruptions in our internet connection and like light going off and then coming right back. So
mm,
I don't know if that is because of the changes from the sun and the solar flares and stuff like that. But um, I think we have to also adapt to the changes that the sun is going through. But no, I don't have like a visible beginning right now.
Mm.
But for sure, I'll tell you right when it happens. And Alex is a Sagittarian that takes her life in her hands and changes as she thinks she needs to change. On the other hand, my Capricorn energy feels like I just want this stability and life will provide with changes whenever I need it.
Hmm.
So I think that's why we have a little bit of different, uh,
Mm.
what is it called? What we can see in our
Mm.
lives.
Hmm.
Views, yeah. But no worries, it's coming because I can see there's so much change.
Hmm. Yeah, the change around is interesting. When you talked about like the fear of needing to buy now, that's huge. I feel that within myself, recognizing like, and I think that's the hard part of working within nonprofit, like the inflation versus cost of like the inflation of cost of living versus the wage not going up over many, many years. And
Hmm.
just feeling so tight working full time as an educated professional is like,
Yeah. And there
wow.
is so many people feeling that way. I
Hmm.
think that with, Pluto leaving Capricorn to Aquarius, and with Saturn moving into Aries from Pisces,
Hmm.
there, n- well, there should be an energy of people wanting to do something to change their lives as a group. And so people, like even when I talk to different people in different institutions that are non-for-profit, they are not satisfied with, as you said, being an educated professional and not being able to live at least with all the needs met.
Hmm.
And so I believe that some people are starting to rise, and I see that in the States a lot. It's happening almost every weekend. Um, Here, I don't see much. It's Alberta, so people tend to not talk
Hmm.
so much right away. But if people get really dissatisfied, or I think maybe their life is in the line and they can't eat, for example, they will either rise as well or uh, make a big change because it's not sustainable and it's
Hmm.
not fair.
Hmm.
It's not socially fair.
Yeah, that's one thing I actually appreciate about Alberta. And maybe I wonder because in Alberta, I think there's like a lot, it's like considered one of the richer provinces. And so there's a lot more to lose. Whereas here in New Brunswick, it's the poorest province in the Canada. And um, a lot of people are used to having so little that they seem to be really good at navigating the discomfort of it and rolling with it, which blows my mind. Maybe that's why I'm struggling.
Hey, do something. Do you feel that way?
Oh. Like to no, it's hard. It's harder here than it ever I but I mean it's post COVID, right? Life was so much easier before and it's never been harder now.
Yeah.
Harder in some ways, but I've grown so much that it's easier to roll with things when we have higher levels of consciousness in terms of like, okay, recognizing that these are things that will pass, that there's still so many good things that will continue to be even amongst the change and challenge. So being able to hold like optimism and presence for what is now.
That is very optimistic.
Yeah. And this Sagittarian has always been very lucky, with Jupiter as my,
Main
lead.
planet.
Yeah, I've always landed on my feet. Things have always worked out. So I do have a level of optimism, and I'm grateful for that. But yeah, I think we're needing to carry that possibility right now as things change.
Mhm.
Hmm. Yeah, but we have um Jupiter's going to be going into Cancer,
Mhm.
which can mean so many things. I still don't understand it yet. I haven't done enough research into it. But Cancer is a very loving planet. It's a very emotional planet, or sign, sorry. And Jupiter expands things. So I'm really hoping that it's going to, because that'll be an expanding of water, FYI, folks. Um,
Expanding of water?
yeah, because Cancer is a water sign.
Mm.
Jupiter is going to be expanding, and Cancer is considered like one of the, like, kind of like a Mother Earth kind of planet. It's like the mother archetype, um, whereas Capricorn is like the father archetype. So that will be interesting to navigate, but it's a shorter transition, and there's lots of really positive things that can come from it.
Mhm.
So we have lots of air and lots of fire. So there's going to be lots of transformation happening,
Yeah.
lots of opportunity for change.
Yeah. And then Jupiter in Cancer, from what I can feel, and I told you this before, but Jupiter amplifies, and Cancer is about family, nurturing, home. And so um, amplifying our connection with those ones that are closest to us, I feel, maybe our
Mm,
community and family.
mm.
And so I'm wondering if there would be something that would make us feel that we need to get closer to each other, or maybe find our home somewhere else.
Interesting. That's really interesting. My travel plans back home to Calgary land at me, I think, arriving back here on July 6th. So, but I'll be going home to visit my family and beautiful friends. Um, so interesting. Mhm. Interesting. Okay, well, Mariella, while you were talking, I had pulled a card, and part of me was really hoping I was going to get the Fool, because I was originally going to look just to show everybody the Fool, and I'm like, ooh, maybe if I put
We
it
are
here,
right.
we're going to get the Fool. But the Fool is the zero, and that is where we are headed. But look at the card I pulled.
Oh, the 10, the wheel. Oh, it's completion.
Yeah, the
We are
wheel.
not in the zero yet, Alex. We're
Yeah,
about to.
yeah. I allow the transformative energies of fate to help me expand my experience, is the in the Light Seers deck. The Light Seers deck.
Yeah.
An affirmation that they gave. So, um, so yeah, just recognizing. So I'm going to give you the words that kind of fall within this little booklet here. So the light part would be changes, fate, destiny, a lucky break, cycling up through karmic lessons, the chaos of creation, a turning point, serendipity. The shadow side would be misfortune, karma, a need to relinquish control, the ups and downs of life, the inevitability of change, an unexpected setback. So, to be fair and honest, I did pull it upside down.
Oh, did you?
I did.
Oh,
So, it's the shadow side that arose. But what I love has, as you described, the wheel is about completion. It's about cycles. It's about, like, it's the wheel that keeps turning, right? And so What was your say
It's
more.
broken. It's a broken cycle. Oh shoot, the connection is unstable again.
Oh, I know you kind of froze at the and I'm like, "Oh my God, that's so exciting."
Yeah, it's the breaking of a cycle. So many things that have felt normal in everyday lives is breaking.
Yeah, so I love this card and it is totally representative to where we are. We're entering a new cycle, we're ending an old cycle. There's going to be some discomfort, and we have to let go of control. Literally, I was in the shower today thinking about my need to let go of control and how challenging the many lessons I've been receiving about my need to control. So, I would like that to end. I don't know what that means though, so that's scary.
So is your dad right?
Oh my God, what did my dad say? What do you mean?
He talks about control.
Oh, yeah, that I just want to control.
But we all want to control because
Well,
we can control things and protect ourselves. It's so natural.
yeah, exactly. And that's exactly like fear. Fear creates control. Um, yeah,
Because we
and
want to survive.
mhm. So so anyway, there's our first card. Mariella, what cards are you pulling for us today?
So, was that card for right now?
Well, I pulled it when you were talking about the 0 point. You were talking about like the 0 point and the fool, and that's
Okay.
why I pulled it.
Okay.
The hope
So
of pulling the fool, but I didn't. I pulled the wheel. But still
I have three.
equally makes complete sense.
Okay.
I love it.
I have three piles. We should choose what we want to know. Three questions.
Ooh, well, we have so many transits like happening at the end of May here. So if we could have
Mhm.
like end of May card.
End of May.
Yeah. And then we're moving into June, which is starting to mark the 6th month of the year. Holy Moses. Um,
Could do now, the end of May, and then June.
sounds great.
Okay.
Yes.
So, I don't have tarot cards today because you are using the ones that I was thinking of using. So, the one set of cards I'm using is Earth Magic from Stephen Farmer.
Mm.
And the other ones are the Tea Leaf Fortune cards from Ray Hepburn that we
Ooh,
like.
yeah.
So, well, right now, I got Mountain and Strength.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Being strong.
So, yeah, Mountain and Strength. Just sit with that for now. Mountains usually don't change.
They were created by shifting tectonic plates.
But now we can doubt. So it's almost that feeling that we're having, I think, of this is not going to change, whatever we think in our mind that it's not.
I don't know, I see it as like we are needing to hold the strength and stability of a mountain as we move through the change.
Mm.
Like that earth energy, as we're about
Yep.
to move into a whole bunch of fire and a whole bunch
Yeah.
of air, we need to be able to stay grounded in our body.
Yes. Remember that we are strong.
Yes.
Mhm. There's some fog in there.
Hmm.
Um, And it was very foggy today in the morning here. It
Mm,
was really quiet and it felt eerie. So it
mm-hmm.
reminds me of this morning. But I got rest, sorrow over a loss,
Mm, a wreath.
grief. Thank you. Bird, perched, waiting for news, package, or letter.
Mm, mm-hmm.
And then lion, time to act.
Ooh, what? That's like death receiving a message and what's next? So something kind of like grieving, communicating, and um, either speaking or stepping forward. Hmm.
That is Saturn moving from Pisces to Aries.
Saturn moving from Pisces to Aries. Yes.
Time to act.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Good one, Mariela.
But I don't know the wreath.
Yeah.
That usually is a costume for when somebody dies, right? And so the message is about a loss and there is sadness. Um, I think that things are happening behind the scenes that we don't know yet. That feels right to me because this is supposedly happening right now. But in terms of material reality, I don't see it.
But it's
But yeah, with the tariffs and things changing, there's probably a feeling of sadness in people. And some of those things that cause us sadness then will make us act. But maybe we are about to know something that it's coming, a message or something like that.
I think of the strength card in relation to these. Um, I think of we need to kind of maintain some stability or strength as we move through
Hmm.
this loss of it might be something personal to ourselves or loss of identity. It could be something like that, or it could be something bigger
Yeah.
or have been experiencing
Mhm.
and recognizing that we need to then start like communicating and actually speaking.
Doing something.
So if you think of if I look at the United States specifically, but a lot of countries are experiencing a lot of loss of rights, um,
Mhm. Yeah.
loss of jobs, and a lot of loss. Um, and so there needs to be more speaking up about things, um, and there needs to be more action taking. So it could be something bigger like that, or something small that someone might be experiencing, but trying to maintain that strength during that transition of those that you might be going through right now, that we're all going through, but some people might be, it might be a bit bigger than others.
In some sense, I think at least you and I are both feeling like we need a change and we need to let go. And probably it's that to leave what we already know and go into something that we don't know. But it's time to go.
Mm-hmm.
And probably that will give us the strength of the
Mm-hmm.
mountain.
Mm-hmm.
It looks so peaceful. Like nobody's there. It's just you,
Mm-hmm.
calm. Then for the end of May, sorry, we have music and harmony.
Mm-hmm.
There's two women in there, and they are both playing an instrument.
Mm-hmm. Lovely.
Then we got a bowl, plenty of material things, and then forest, modeled and clear thinking,
Forest.
and it falls in the astral house of career.
So things, that's a tricky one. I'm like, what's coming up for you, Mariela?
So with career, we were talking about before this video started that people's way of living or work and jobs are going to change. We were talking about how technology is going to be a big, um, what is it called? The thing that starts this change. And we were talking about how technology is going to change so fast in from now on
Mm-hmm.
because of Uranus, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so with
And
career, I am thinking of that in the forest still is almost like we don't see it yet. It's hard
mm,
to see in the forest. We just know our own life and we can see maybe what others around us are going through. Some
mhm,
people are already adapting and moving forward with technology, and there's
mm,
some other people that have no idea of how to do it, or maybe they are not interested in going through learning about technology. But it says that there's a bowl and plenty of material things. It's almost like a promise that whatever happens, it's going to be okay. And we are going to have whatever we need.
mm, mhm,
And I'm just thinking like when our ancestors had to leave from the land, they had to work, but they were okay. We are very used to some of the modern things that are accessible to us so easily now
mhm,
that maybe we don't want to go back to that, but I feel that it would be a different world with technology that we've never seen and together with that connection with others and the earth.
mhm, mhm. Well, with that bowl of abundance, I instantly thought of Taurus, but I know, and I'm like, oh, but everybody's struggling with this feeling of abundance. And but like maybe now the transition obviously doesn't happen for a while, and that's not what the timing of these cards. But with that transition coming, um, maybe there's going to be like us, like people evaluating what we have, you know, um, and recognizing we have actually way more than we think we do. Um, but yeah,
Forest. No,
sorry, say that again.
we have a full forest.
Yes, yes. But what does the forest say again?
Modeled and clear thinking.
Muddled and clear thinking. Mm, maybe, if this feels like the idea of that many people actually, the idea of abundance, and many people think that we are not abundant and that we don't actually have what we need. Can you hear me okay?
I am trying to um Yeah, I lost some of the volume for a little moment, but I think we're okay now.
Hmm. Um, the, that idea. So it said like muddled perception, and so that some people think we don't have anything or don't have enough. I'm one of those people who tends to have a scarcity mindset. But then like the reality of actually having so much, um, and recognizing that um, even as maybe folks struggle with their career or what's to come, or maybe there is uncertainty in that realm as things start to change.
Yeah, there is a feeling of uncertainty for sure around many jobs.
Like think of the tariffs and stuff happening and how it's impacting so many
Yeah,
people, things, and
and other changes as well. For example, the changes in immigration here in Canada. That is changing a lot of things too.
hmm
Um, I don't know if you heard here in Alberta, there will be many people that will be fired all of a sudden from universities and colleges.
yeah.
So from SAIT, NAIT, Bow Valley, Mount Royal, on the news this week, we knew that we learned that they are being fired. And it's like whole programs that are being closed
Mm-hmm.
because there are not so or as many international students coming.
Hmm. Yeah, we had I think 60 people from our community, our main community college get fired.
Mm,
Yeah. So we recognize that careers are changing.
yeah.
Things are changing, and that can bring a lot of fear and uncertainty. And so you have choices on how you can see things, and recognizing the abundance of that. And that's where that idea, when you pulled the harmony card, I was like, oh, interesting. Or music, harmony. So, like, we all, makes me think of this song, um, that we all have this like role to play. Um, and we just need to find what our role is. And then it's like much easier to be a part of the music. But we're all a part of it, whether we think we are or not. Um, but we sing and create music together, like we can't
Hmm.
alone. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
and each of us has our own skills and abilities, like
Hmm.
playing our own music. And then we have to figure out also what works for us and what we have. Because sometimes we go to careers that maybe sat well before, but and also maybe you chose something because that was like the most um, I don't know, comfortable one or the easiest one. And now you have the opportunity to look at your own drum and do it.
Hmm. Yeah, that Aries energy. What's new? What's
Yes.
next? What's possible? Yeah.
And then for June, I got two cards from the Earth deck, the Earth Magic deck. The Spring Equinox,
Ooh,
which is in June, right?
yes.
And then Volcano.
Oh gosh. Just FYI, the equinox is in the spring, but the solstice is in
Oh, thank you
uh
for the correction.
yeah, but
I
I like
get
that
them
idea
mixed.
of that rebirth. That's like that Aries energy, and that volatility is also Aries energy.
Oh, it's fire.
Yeah, because Aries is considered one of the most like um
Oh,
explosive of them.
that's true.
So with Mars also entering into Aries and
Mm-hmm.
like if with all these planets entering into Aries, there is volatility. That's kind of the shadow side of some, of like that ram that's like aggressive, that's trying to make things happen. Um,
Determined.
yeah. So, which is still that's that powerful energy for transformation to happen, right?
Yep.
It's initiatory energy, but it can be intense. And then that spring, well, to have a plant break through the seed, move through the soil, and pierce through into the air is like you need a level of intensity to be able to grow, right?
Hey, Alex.
Yeah.
Um, I have the feeling that um the spring equinox, there were some seeds in there. So during the spring,
Ooh.
and now it's exploding because we got this one too in like now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like the continuation of the story.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's so funny because the word volatility seems so aggressive, but it also can just be transformation. Like transformation doesn't transformation and breakthroughs usually happen through more intense feelings. Like, think about all the times you made a significant change in your life. A lot of times something wasn't okay or not working, and you made a choice that it wasn't going to happen anymore, and you changed. And so, like, having intensity or volatility can be a good thing.
Also have to consider that when you think of that pressure from the earth inside with the lava and all that, it's like something is brewing that it's needed to explode. It has to get out.
Yeah.
So, what is in you, what is in your community, or what is in the world that needs to come out because it's time we need to feel free.
Mm-hmm.
It will come out.
Yeah.
So, we're all in
Okay.
it.
Show us the tea leaves that go with this one.
No. Remember June and the last reading we had?
Yeah.
I got a dark woman.
Okay.
Dealings or relationship with a woman with dark complexion or hair. Oh, there's bread, period of prosperity and abundance. So there is a loaf of bread and there's flour falling from the bag. And there is December.
Ooh. Can you raise them? Yeah. So bread. Was Dark Woman first or was bread first?
Yes, like that.
Okay, so is there going to be like a dark woman breaking bread with someone in December?
But we're
Or
talking about June, so there is some connection between June and December.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Interesting. So we'll have to kind of pay attention to like the female, um, the feminine realm.
Yeah.
Well, interestingly, like December is when the winter solstice happens. So
Mm.
it's 6 months later um, from this. So interesting. So yeah, I'm curious about this like woman energy for June.
Me too.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, I'm here for it.
Yeah, but it seems like this woman in June is bringing prosperity and has to do something with the volcano and what happened in the spring.
Hmm.
So probably we will be able to see it, right? When it comes out all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden.
Mm-hmm.
Or does it mean that the woman is the earth and
Ooh,
it's bringing a different type of prosperity?
that sounds pretty. That that sounds pretty solid there. Um, as we move into Cancer, Cancer is, like I said, it's like the mother, it's home, it's earth
That's
kind of thing.
true.
And um, but I'm scared of the dark side of the earth in terms of when it says woman.
Mm.
Um, I'm just like, ooh, the darkness that could come. But abundance, right? We're going to be in June. It's going to be really the peak of um, summer or warmth or time of light, which is interesting that there's a dark woman that would arrive. But we had had a empty chair, so I don't know if there's like a changing of power or a changing of dynamic to go from an empty chair to bread.
Mm.
So I'm curious. And then, like you said, it sounds like there's a period of time that we're going to be looking at from June to December for something specific. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, I'm so excited to see how it all unfolds.
In June.
Hmm. So, can I share? I pulled some cards as you pulled some cards out.
Hey, I'm
So,
excited.
this first one came when you started talking. So, this is the wisdom of hidden realms, and they all came upright. Thank the Lord. You know what? And I also recognize, FYI, my apologies to anybody who's religious. I think I've said Moses. I think I've said Jesus. I think I've said Lord. Like recognizing I'm using really strange terminology right now. But the prison waif, so that's about self-sabotage, poverty consciousness, some of that scarcity mindset. And so remember how we were concerned about like, or not concerned, but questioning like, oh, it seems like there's some challenging aspects of loss.
Yeah.
So that was aligned with that time. And then the harmony. When you pulled the harmony card, I pulled this one, which is
Oh.
Sisters of the Sea.
Oh.
And there is also someone playing music in the trees.
Uh-huh. And they're
And
women.
yeah, right? So it's about cycles of growth, natural law, and divine order.
Mm.
Yeah, so that felt like that was aligned with that harmony piece and um, and the abundance card and um, sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Oh, I was just saying to myself, I'm sorry. It's can you put it more in the middle? It says natural laws and but it's in divine order.
Mm-hmm. Some divine timing.
So, yeah.
And then this last one, you pulled the dark woman, and it was the wise woman of Wonderland.
Mm.
Purity and compromise. So interesting. Um,
Oh, wise wind, woman of Wonderland. It just reminded me of Winter Wonderland in December.
mm, interesting. So I feel like I mean I see the alignment. I can see the alignment the with the with the cards, but I'm just curious. I don't know the what I love about this deck is ooh, this deck uh the words that are there it kind of speaks clearly to it and they're using this deck I find asks us really well for transformation and change.
Mm-hmm.
I always find this is the deck that calls me out and I'm like shh. And I've been using this deck a lot more lately. Um, so yeah, I wanted to just pull alongside you there.
Yeah, I really like that deck too.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me reflect a lot many times I get a card from it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have it, so I don't use it, but
That's the
Wisdom of the Hidden Realms by Colette Baron Reed.
mm-hmm. We originally got that deck. Well, that deck came because Marianne, she's the one who had that deck, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. And yeah. Oh gosh. Okay. That was a
there's
lot.
still some unknowns.
Mm-hmm. What there's a lot of unknowns. I feel like this is the realm in which we're continuing to live, but that card that said music, an interesting thing with that is I was when I was reflecting on dance and movement
Hmm.
and how important that is for me, but
Hmm.
it is for us as humans to find like a rhythm, right? Like music lets us find a rhythm. We have a rhythm within our heart, right? We're attuned to rhythm. We naturally soothe ourselves to rhythm. We express through music, whether it's our emotions or our feelings. Um, and so when I think of like finding strength and then jumping from the strength card to the music card, like so being within our body, expressing, finding ways to express with our body and voice, um, and then welcoming the new and express what needs to be there. Yeah.
Yeah, it also comes to mind, our music in our head. Like, what do we repeat in our head?
Ooh, yes.
And with the harmony word in the card, like being careful of, being kind to ourselves, being nice, when being reflective and finding some part of our shadow to be compassionate,
Mhm.
feel that we are safe. And yeah, that drumming in our heart and um, that gives us peace. So um, I'm going into music for therapy. We don't
Mm.
even have to think about words or thoughts of what happened in our lives in the past. It just can brings us back to present time and joy and peace and harmony.
Mhm.
If it's music that we like, I guess.
Music that resonates with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. That brings harmony.
Hmm.
Mhm. Okay. Well, Mariella, I think this is a great time for us to pause. But I wish everyone beautiful transitions of endings and beginnings, um, but staying connected to that body that holds us on this earth.
We were saying also that maybe it would be best for us not to think that everything's forever
Yes.
and try to detach from what we want or have, which is not easy. But
Mm-hmm.
just knowing that we are here and that we have our tribe, people around us that can give us a hand. For those people that don't have so many people around them or a support network, maybe trying to connect with one person here, one person there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm. All right. Well, thank you, Mariella.
Thank you,
Thank
Alex.
you again.
Thank
Um,
you, everybody.
and we will see you again, um, probably at the end of June, where we will be recording live together. All right. Be well.
Bye.